Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video and clicking on it when you see it pop up on your feed. If this is your very first time tuning into one of my live videos, my name is Candace Dorman. I'm a wife, a mom, and an entrepreneur. But in this space, I am talking about summer camp planning. So if you are a local New Haven area family, parent, caregiver, and you are thinking about summer options for your child, then this is going to be the video for you. Today, I have with me Rebecca Holcomb, who's the Director of Community Programs from Common Ground. And we're just going to dig in a little bit into this program that so many of us love. But maybe this is your first time your child being old enough to attend, and so you really don't know as much about it. So let's just jump right in. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Perfect, perfect. So I will not take for granted that I'm pretty familiar with Common Ground. I've been going to Open Farm Days and for at least 3 years now, and my son has attended your Nature Year program. But today we're talking about summer camp. So let's just start from the beginning. Can you tell me a little bit about your program, where it's located, and the age group for that you serve?
Yeah, of course. So we're in New Haven. We're over on the West Rock side of town near Southern Connecticut State University. We're on the grounds of Common Ground High School. We share a campus. We're part of the same broader organization. But the summer camp is separate from the high school. It's run by the nonprofit that offers lots of programs for children and the community. We have camp spots for kids ages 4 through 14 this summer. And we are a farm and nature and outdoor adventure based camp. So, campers who come to us are going to spend almost all of their time outside. We have farm animals that we care for and interact with. We have a children's garden for planting and eating and harvesting foods and cooking with food from the farm. We have lots of play spaces, including fort building in the woods, a mud kitchen, all sorts of fun places for outdoor adventure. And then we spend a lot of time in the woods. We go hiking all over West Rock. We wade in the stream. We hike out to Lake Wintergreen. Just lots of fun time in nature.
I love it. That mud kitchen is my favorite. Even though I'm not a I'm not a kid, the mud kitchen is my favorite. And when I was running a home daycare, I used inspiration from the Common Ground mud kitchen to create a similar vibe in my own backyard. So thank you for everything that you guys have that you're offering on campus, and definitely as inspiration for folks to be able to continue some of that outdoor learning in their own space is really awesome. So thank you. Okay, let's keep going for some more details about the program. Do you have to be a New Haven resident to attend the Common Ground program? Is there
We
a
don't. We're
requirement?
open to folks from any town.
Cool, cool. And so you said lots of outdoor stuff. So would you categorize your program as a um, nature-based program? Like, how would you categorize the program? What would you call it if people were trying to figure that out in their head?
I think that play and adventure and making new friends and just having a fun, joyful summer is actually the most important part of the spirit of our program. I would say nature is the setting. So some camps are really focused on like academics or a specific skill like cooking or karate or basketball. We're not focused on a specific skill. So I wouldn't say that your child is going to learn to identify 5 kinds of trees and can describe the water cycle. They might learn those things, which is great. Certainly we offer information and love when kids learn, but our goal is that it's about play and adventure and just like a joyful childhood summer. The days have a combination of open-ended playtime. There's at least an hour each day, usually more like an hour and a half, that is just open for open play, which means the kids can visit the chickens, they can build a fort, they can be in the mud kitchen, they can go help in the garden if they want to. They can just sit and talk to their friends if they want to. So there's a portion of the day that is really dedicated to play. And then there's a portion of the day that does offer more structured activities where the teachers in each camp group will lead activities that kids will enjoy. But the goal isn't to be instructional. So that activity might be a fort building challenge. Let's see as a group if we can build a giant fort that is waterproof so that when we dump a jug of water on it, we all stay dry inside. Or let's go for a hike out to the lake and play games along the way and take our lunches in our backpacks and have a picnic lunch. So a combination of really valuing play and then some more structured teacher-led activities.
That's awesome. That just gave me some like nostalgia back to, I don't know, summers in the 90s, right? Where you kind of leave home and you just come back to eat and then you go back out and you're sort of with a group of kids, mixed age kids, and you might be, I mean, we used to go far to the other side of town, right? And be along a creek, but that unstructured play, I mean, we probably could have used a little bit of supervision, but still that unstructured time is so important and so valuable, even in spite of, you know, feeling like you need to make sure your kids are learning, and like there's so much learning that is happening even in those unstructured times. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Can you tell me, do you have what kids like the most about programs? If you've heard any chatter from kids, maybe at the pickup line or in passing, what is the thing that kids say about the program?
So I know that we have a number of campers that refer to Common Ground Camp as chicken camp. What that means simply is we have farm animals, right? We have chickens, we have these adorable goats that we can walk on leashes. So friendly farm animals. So for some kids, their favorite thing is the farm animals. That said, not all kids like animals, and it's never a requirement to interact with the farm animals. It's an option. So if there is a child who is down for outdoor adventure but doesn't want to snuggle a chicken, that's okay. Another thing that kids really love is cooking. So we cook with food from the farm. We make homemade pizza, we make garden wraps, we make salsa, we cook over the campfire. So cooking is a big hit. And then I think the other favorite is just that there is unstructured time to just play. That there's a good hour and a half each day where they get to make their own choices of if they want to sit and chat with friends or hang out with the chickens or go build a fort. I think a lot of traditional camps, you move from one structured activity to the next, and it's craft time and it's swimming time and it's field games time. We do have structured portions of the day, but kids really love what we call choice time, which is our hour and a half of this is your choice. You can go play with who you want to play with and do the activities that you're excited to do.
I love it. I love it. And on that note, what is something that parents love about the program that you hear in feedback from parents?
I know parents love that their kids are outside and really active. The other thing I hear really strongly from parents is how much they love our staff. We have a really amazing staff team that I'm really proud of. We have a lot of folks with lots of experience caring for kids, leading kids in outdoor activities, folks who may work in schools or other educational settings during the school year. Our staff are really diverse in lots of different ways, and that's a big priority for us as well, both because their diversity of life experiences brings lots of opportunities to our campers then, because staff have different areas of expertise, and also because the diversity of our staff is intended to reflect the diversity of our community, and we want kids to see themselves and their families in our staff team. So I know parents really love our amazing staff.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, cool. I just have a couple more specific questions about the program. I am thinking about dates of the program. When is it offered this year for 2022?
So we are definitely offering camp from July 4 through August 13. It's offered in 2-week sessions starting July 4. We are open on the 4th of July. And then we hope to offer 1-week sessions in June and perhaps later into August, after August 13th. That we won't know about until about mid-May. It just depends on staff and hiring capacity. But definitely July 4 to August 13, possibly weekly sessions in June and later in August.
Cool. And how long is the day?
The main camp day goes from 8:30 to 3, and then we have optional extended day from 3 to 5:30.
Okay. So no morning extended.
Right now, I don't anticipate having morning care. It's possible we will add it later, but folks should register assuming that we won't have it.
Okay. Okay. And when does the application open?
Soon. I have to take a look at my notes here.
That's the big question. Everybody wants to know
I
when they can
know,
get their
yeah.
application
Well, so we're
in.
doing it a little bit differently this year, and we are dividing enrollment into 2 waves for a number of complicated reasons. But so returning families, anyone who's had a child here for any program since 2019, will receive an emailed link to enroll starting on March 29th at 7 a.m. And then new families, that means if you have not registered your child for a drop-off program here at Common Ground since the summer of 2019, that will go live on our website on April 1st at 7 a.m.
Okay, cool. And then I know that you have I'm just going to alert people right now. If you go to their website, there is a link to join the mail list so that you're sure not to miss that email. So definitely head over to that link. That link is also in the toolkit, in the New Haven Summer Camp Toolkit that I will mention some more at the end. But definitely head over and make sure that you're on. If you're not receiving Common Ground emails, like random update ones about what's happening on the farm or about anything that's going on there, then you're probably going to miss the application is open email. So definitely get yourself on that email list so you don't miss that. Okay, can we talk about the fee for camp and any
Yeah.
financial aid that might be available?
Yeah, so importantly, today is the priority application deadline for financial aid.
Okay.
That link is on our website on the summer camp homepage, and we need to receive financial applications by the end of today in order to consider those applications in our first round of financial aid. If financial aid funds remain after that first round of registration, then certainly we'll consider applications received after today.
Okay, so this is timely information, guys. If you're
yeah.
looking for financial aid support, definitely get your application in today. And it's easy. It's a simple financial aid application, so don't feel it's not the FAFSA form, right? They're asking a few questions that will help them determine your level of need, but it's not something that you can't fill out in 5 or 10 minutes. So don't avoid it if you don't have to.
Totally. It's a quick online form. It does not require supplemental documentation at this point. So it's a quick and easy one.
Yeah. Yeah. I know sometimes that additional forms freak people out and they're afraid and they aren't sure or whatever, but this is not one of those. So definitely if you need it and you'd like this program for your child, definitely do fill it out. Okay. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So we're talking fees.
Yeah, so I can tell you what the base fees are here.
Mm-hmm.
So camp ranges between $575 and $625 for a 2-week session for most of our ages and groups.
Great.
So that $575 for a 2-week session covers our adventure camp and our treehouse camp groups. Those camps are sort of our general camps that do a little bit of everything. So if you have a camper who wants to cook and see the animals and do nature art and be with friends and go hiking, we do all of those things with Adventure Camp and Treehouse Camp. $625 for a 2-week session covers cooking camp, amazing animals camp, and rangers camp. Those camps cost a little more because they have more supplies costs or field trip costs, which are included in the tuition. So there's never an extra fee. So cooking camp is what it sounds like. We're going to cook with food from the farm. Lots and lots of cooking. Amazing Animals Camp is a lot more dedicated time with our animals and also learning about wild animals. And then our Rangers Camp is a special camp just for our middle schoolers, ages 11 to 14. And that supplemental, that additional cost there covers field trips. They're our only group that does field trips. They'll take a bus off campus to go do some adventures at least twice in a session, as well as some materials for some other special activities we like to do just with our oldest campers. And then finally, our Sprouts Camp is $710 for a 2-week session. Sprouts Camp is for ages 4, 5, and 6. And parents of preschoolers who have kiddos in daycare know that, unfortunately, it is true that we need to charge a little more to take really good care of our youngest kids. Yeah. So we have a lot more staff and hands with those groups, and the groups are much smaller. I think we're pretty well known for doing a really great job with the littles in the summer. I feel like Common Ground Camp is a great place for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old to make a mud pie and hold a chicken and go on a 5-year-old sized hike that is appropriate for their age and size. And so that's our Sprouts Camp.
I love it. I love this as one. There are not very many options for 4-year-olds, so I really love that you guys have this option, particularly because our kids start school in New Haven, what feels like early, right? At 3 and 4 years old. And I know how hard it is for families to find awesome programs for their 3 and 4-year-olds who are like old enough to be in school during the school year, but not old enough to attend camps during the summer. So thanks so much for thinking of some of our smallest our smallest residents. Okay. I wanted to ask a couple more questions. One around transportation. Do you offer transportation during the summer?
We don't offer any transportation. We do have a city bus stop here on our campus.
Okay.
So for families who might want to use public transportation, the bus stop's right here.
Perfect. Perfect. And then if we're talking about students with special needs or disabilities, do you have any capacity to serve students that might fall in that category?
Yeah, absolutely. I find that that's always best as an individual conversation with parents if they think that their child might need special supports in the program.
Perfect.
Often there are kids who may have a diagnosis of whatever,
Mhm.
who don't need special supports, but it's still good for us to know about it so we can understand them a little better. And then if there are kids who need some individual or special supports, it's just great for me to have a conversation with that family so I can understand their child's needs and we can figure out together if that's something that we think we can make a good plan for, or if we need to sort of explore more and see what's going to work for them.
I love it. I love it. So I think that sometimes people are worried and they just count themselves out of something, but it's always a good idea to ask. Oh, like the worst you could say is no, we can't, or we're not able to at this time. But that conversation might lead to maybe something different for next year, or something might be able to be done in this time around. So this is just a plug for folks to never, just like the financial aid form, never be afraid to speak up and ask for what you need because you might get it.
Yeah.
You might get it. Can families visit camp to see the location and things beforehand while they're still making decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're open for self-guided visits every Saturday from 10 to 2. So it doesn't require RSVP or anything else. You can just show up and enjoy campus. Right now in the month of March, there are not staff necessarily outside to host those visitors, although you may see someone around doing animal chores or something, and you're welcome to ask questions of them if you see folks. But then starting the first weekend in April, we will start actively hosting Open Farm Day again, which means that there will be children's program staff in the chicken yard, in the children's garden, present on campus for the purpose of hosting visitors, welcoming you to our play and educational spaces, and answering your questions about programs.
Perfect. Perfect. And so what's the next step for families?
Look at our website and think about which program options you might want for your child, because there are a bunch of choices, and know what you're looking for, such that whenever it's the date that your group is eligible to register, whether you're a returning family or a new family, that you're ready to get on and register. We do sometimes fill up really quickly. It is possible that we will fill up the first day that enrollment opens for each group. I don't know for sure. We have expanded our spaces a little more. We were running at very limited capacity the last 2 summers for pandemic related reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We've re-expanded to a more typical capacity, which is great. That said, we might still fill really quickly. So I recommend that folks know what they're looking for and be ready to register when they're eligible to do so.
Yeah, and related on that note, this is a perfect plug for the New Haven Summer Camp Toolkit because that is going to help you get yourself ready, get all of your details, get all of your details in order, and really identify what exactly that you need. So then you are very sure that you need a program from this date to this date, these hours, and you have a sense of what it's going to cost so that when, especially in the case of Common Ground, once that application opens up, you're just uh, filling in filling in the spots. So I'll make sure to link that below. It is um, I think it's an amazing, an amazing place to find a lot of the information. One, particularly for the New Haven City Camp options, but then there is a growing list of programs like Common Ground that you can look at and compare to make sure they fit the needs for your family. So I will leave the link to that and also the links directly to the Common Ground website so that you can, one, sign up for that. What's your form called? Your info form?
There's a camp inquiry form.
That's what it's called. Okay.
Folks can sign up for it. And the link will
Yes.
also just be live on the website the morning of April 1st. So if folks are worried about an email going to spam or don't want to give us their email address, folks will have the exact same access by just going to the camp homepage the morning of April 1st.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Is there anything that I missed, Rebecca? Anything you'd like to add in closing?
No, I think that's it. I'm really grateful that you're putting together this resource for New Haven families. There's a lot of great camps out there. We're one of them, and there's lots of other great camps too. And we routinely see kids that come to us for a session and go to a city camp for a session and take advantage of all the neat opportunities across the city. So I love that parents get to think about all the cool opportunities for their kid this summer.
I know. I really like that too. It's a bit of a checkers game. I'm not sure if that's actually, but it's a bit of plug and play. I like that so many programs are offering like 2-week options or even weekly options, and you don't have to lock in to one single option for the whole summer. That way you can allow your child to maybe do some things that are interest based or that are schedule based, right, for you and your family, or that you don't have to tie into paying for the whole summer when you planned on traveling for the summer for a week or two or that kind of thing. So I really appreciate what the programs are doing to make this process a little more nimble for families. And then I do recognize that some unintended consequence of that is that it does require a little more maneuvering to make sure that you have things in place when you need them. So definitely that is my whole purpose in shining a light on programs and planning and getting started a little bit early so that folks don't end up like I was a couple summers ago, where I was making decisions, I don't know, in the last week of June, like maybe like in the last week of school. I had no idea what my kids were going to do. And we had to, in some cases, we had to take what was left, right? And that doesn't always feel good, even though it ended up being fine for them and the summer was fine. It still is nice to have, to feel like you have a handle on what you're doing early on to reduce some of that stress that caregivers and parents often feel when it comes time to schedule. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for your time. Can you mention your email address or the email address if people have questions, how they can get in contact directly?
Yeah, folks can email camp@commongroundct.org.
Perfect. And that's Rebecca on the other side of that email. So feel really comfortable that now you know who you're talking to, and that there's someone on the other side who is actually going to be there to help you with any of your questions or particular circumstance that you want to talk to. Thank you again for tuning into this video. If you have any questions about the about planning or about the summer camp toolkit, please definitely do reach out to me directly. I'm Candace at CandaceDorman.com. If you have any specific questions about Common Ground or any of the specific camps, please do contact them directly. I do not work for the camps or the city. And so this is information that I'm pulling together directly from the source or through research. So definitely make sure that you are double checking all of your information so that your specific summer and schedule and circumstance is taken care of. Again, the links for everything is going to be below. Thank you so much for your time today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much, Rebecca.